everybody. How are we all doing? Morning, CK. Morning, Vitali. Morning, Omar. And welcome to the private members group, George. Apparently, it's come up on my chat saying that George has just joined. Welcome aboard, George. Morning, Evil Virginia. How are we doing? Right, Barrier Man. Did you see yourself yesterday in the ECB press conference? I didn't actually look at it yesterday. I didn't watch it yesterday. I just completely forgot. Where is it? Oh, they normally have it in the stream. There she is.
Good afternoon and welcome to our press conference. Welcome also.
They didn't do Barrier Man yesterday. Oh, that's disappointing. They've cut Barrier Man out. I'm very disappointed. My uncle did it. Yes. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Momo. It's time. Peter. Steve. Stevie, even. Right. So today, we've had the news today. No, we haven't actually. We've got retail to say later on. But we've just had the GDP for the pound, which came out negative, not forecast. What is that? Sorry, that was retail. Why have you not updated? No, sorry, yeah. I was on the wrong week. I was looking at next week. We've just had the GDP out for the pound, which came out as negative, not forecast. So we were negative 0.1 last month. We were forecasting to go into positive figures. We didn't. So not good for the pound. If you look at the GDP figures, this is the first negative that we've had for a while. So not the end of the world. GDP will pick up. It typically does pick up New Year anyway. So I don't think it's really an issue. But that is a bad number for the pound. And again, another reason why they won't drop interest rates. So could be more sticky for the pound basically moving forward. But GDP not good. So instant impact on that one. Euro pound has hit ADR. As you can see. So euro pound, big spike up on that news. All the other pound pairs are on the move as well. Not quite as drastic at the moment, but moved down for the last hour basically on the news, but doesn't mean it's going to stay there. It's not massively negative. GDP isn't the biggest impactor. So morning, Barry. Eloid, morning. So yeah, so that's the news this morning. There is no other news today, so that's it. News is done for the rest of the week. Yesterday we had quite a busy day with everything. So we had the unemployment rate come out as a down number on the Aussie, which is lovely and bullish for the Australians. The Swiss reduced their interest rate again without telling us. So all the Swiss franc pairs yesterday, big weakness. And I think that will probably continue. So unfortunately, I banked some Swiss yesterday. I only had one exposure on the Swiss yesterday, which was the New Zealand Swiss. That was my only exposure there. So got out of the New Zealand Swiss yesterday. That was a 2-entry. Whoops, can't draw. 2-entry exit. I think this will probably still push, but I've got no other Swiss franc exposure on, so I can't really take advantage of it. But I will get in on any pullbacks on the Swiss franc. So that's there was talk about them potentially as well, negative interest rates again, and manipulation. You know, they came out yesterday, the SNB, as they always do, and said, where are we? Where's the Swiss gone? There. So that's your rate. We still have ammunition left on rates, meaning they will drop the rates further, which will weaken the Swiss further. The SNB does not like negative interest rates. The likelihood of negative interest rates has become small. So they are at 0.5 now, which means basically they're saying we've still got more we can do, but unlikely we will go to negative but that doesn't rule out going to 0, which means I think there's a good 0.5% that they could drop. So that's basically what happened with that SMB yesterday. So potentially we got some bearish movement ahead, and again, SMB doesn't like negative rates, but they do work. So obviously they are not ruling them out. Interest rate on the euro then dropped to 3.5, so a 0.25% drop on the euro, which is what we were expecting, what we were forecast, and what we got. So no shocks there. ECB press conference, nothing particularly groundbreaking came out of the ECB. They've got everything absolutely spot on for the last 18 months, the ECB. So yeah, business as usual. They're going to continue to drop rates. We can see them down at somewhere around about 2% by the end of next year. CPI is under control. CPI will be sitting somewhere between 2 to 2.5. Interest rates will get down to 2%. Everything's going perfectly, which means it's just kind of like that for the euro. Not massively bullish, not massively bearish. It's more neutral to slightly bearish. So it means really the euro could be traded in either direction. It's become the whipping boy of the market again, which means that the opposite cross on euro pairs, so if you look at something like the euro pound, it will move based on the opposite cross. The euro hasn't really got an awful lot of strength itself, but what will happen is if the US dollar drops, obviously what will happen is euro US dollar will pop and vice versa. So nothing exciting happened there yesterday from the ECB. Risk to growth tilted to the downside. So yeah, it's just everything going very, very well basically for them. So there you go. So there's the forecasts. Inflation easing to 2% in Q4 2025. So over the next 12 months, we'll have interest rates and inflation stable around 2%. That's what they're expecting. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do it. Traders are looking at less than 1.25 basis point cuts in 2025. We are currently now sitting at 3.515. So 1.25 takes us down to pretty much 2, doesn't it? So that's exactly what we were forecasting, exactly where it's going. So no shocks, which is why the market didn't have a particularly large movement. A handful of policymakers were looking to drop by 50 basis points as well, which means that they are eagerly looking to get those interest rates down quick to keep that inflation under control. So yeah, there we go. That was just saying that they're going to do the drop a quarter point over the next 2 meetings. So January, February, another 0.5% off. Probably then give it a rest for a couple of months and see how that affects the market. So negative euro moving forward. That was pretty much it for overnight stuff. And then obviously this morning we've had the GDP figures coming out as negative, which were not expected. So the market's obviously had to undo some of its positions on the pound. We've had French CPI, which all came out as forecast this morning as well. So that's your news. Next week, I was planning to take next week off completely, but I'm not going to now because we've got such a massive week. So I'm going to do streams next week. I think probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I might do a Thursday instead, actually. I don't know yet. I'll put out in Discord and Telegram what I'm going to do next week. But I'll do the Monday because we've got a massive week. So I'll do a forecast of what's coming up this week, next week. Then I'll probably do the Wednesday afternoon session. And then I might do a Thursday. What I might do on Thursday actually is do lunchtime because obviously we've got the rates for the pound. That's a big one because they haven't said they're going to drop it. I don't think they will drop it, but there's something in the back of my head that says that they really do need to drop it. So there could be a bit of a shock coming on that one, but we'll see. So probably next week I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there you go. There's your news. Indices long both this morning. So FTSE long on the 5-minute ORB. Pre-market range looks like it was too big. 160, yeah. So pre-market range was too big on the FTSE this morning. So long break on the FTSE on the 5-minute opening range break. DAX is a pre-market break long as well. Where are we? Oh God, we're up at all-time highs. Okay, so if we do get the break today, there's your high. That's your all-time high. So we are very close to an all-time high break. If we get that, we're going to pop. If we get a pop, we're going to hit target. So let's hope we do get a pop and don't get resistance, which is 2,500. So that is your all-time high. FTSE, plenty of room to the upside. FTSE's not been doing as well as the DAX this week. We've had a bit of a downward move. Because we've got negative moves on the pound this morning, that would be inverse on the indices. So there's a good chance we may well get a continuation on that, but it depends if the pound continues to drop at the open. So we'll see what happens with the pound, but that's got a very good chance to get into target today as well. So there's your highs. That is your last week's high. 150 ADR. So unlikely we'll get there, but we'll see. So we'll see where those go today. ADRs today, the only thing you've got on ADR is the euro pound. So there's a opportunity for a short on euro pound. However, I'd obviously just wait for some bearish price action. So wait for a reversal alert on a lower time frame, an MA cross. There's 125 ADR just literally gone in. So watch that one for potential reversal today, but bear in mind, obviously, this is an unexpected negative news event for the pound. We could easily see 175, 200 ADR. Watch this area here, which is your midweek high and last week's high. Is that last week's high or the 2-week high? That's last week, isn't it? Yeah. So that's last week's high. That's kind of the midweek high from last week in market structure to the downside. So we're going to find resistance at 150 ADR. It's an old monthly low as well. And then we've got further resistance at 200. So the ideal reversal on this today would be to drop down to a lower time frame, M15, M5. Wait for it to get up to that 150 area. And then sorry, yeah, 150 area, and then look for a second entry at that. So if we can push up to there and we get some bearish price action coming in, market reversal alert, moving average cross, bearish engulfing, 3-bar reversal, whatever you want, something at that area for a mean reversion play today, and then a second entry up there for shorts. And obviously watch that area to the downside and that area there. So this is one big old propulsion gap going in on the hourly time frame look. So that low there, that high there is going to form your propulsion gap for the day. So if we continue up, straight up to 150 today on this next hourly candle, you're potentially putting in one massive 2-hour propulsion gap there. So anywhere in there, but that area there, which is yesterday's high, is likely to perform downside support if we get there. What am I doing on this? Shorts. Yeah, so I will be getting in short on this today, definitely. So I'm using 125 ADR as a trigger as well. So I will be taking a short on that at some point today. So that's your only ADR. And 4-hour RSI extensions. We've got the US dollar Swiss. That is extended on the hourly and the 4-hourly, nicely embedded up there. And 4-hour, we're coming up to resistance gap fill. So there's the gap fill being done. That's your gap from 2 weeks ago. So that's just being completed, and obviously monthly high. So good looking short opportunity on that one there. So just looking for that pullback. Euro Swiss has just hit its weekly range. This is further Swiss franc weakness going in. Not looking at the pound, but everything else rallying again against the Swiss. So the Swiss news obviously is going to drop the market. So longs against the Swiss franc. Morning, JC. So US dollar Swiss is extended. US dollar CAD is also extended to the upside. 4-hour RSI is extended, and you're extended on the hourly. So we're out into new highs on that now. Up there. So we've just broken out the monthly high. So looking for a pullback into there. I'm only looking for longs on this, so I'll be looking for an entry there or there. And pound US dollar also extended to the downside. So that's a nice extension on the hourly. 4 hourly also nicely extended. So didn't get into a short on this. Why did I not get into a short on that? Oh, it didn't get extended. That's why. So last entry I had on that was here. Didn't quite get a signal there, unfortunately, but that would have been nice. One of the reasons I developed this indicator is for that exact reason. Yeah. Indicators are great. They work a lot. But at the end of the day, that was a good entry short up there. But it's something that you actually, I wouldn't have even got it on with support resistance either because it's not there. But yeah, missed it unfortunately. So I'm going to cover this morning. So somebody asked in the Discord group yesterday, I've done a session on support resistance, supply demand, the difference between the two, how to trade them in the members group. Which is the reason I did it is because I've been developing this indicator, this EA basically, which is basically how I used to trade before I invented the market reversal alert indicator, EA, position trader EA, and all that lot. So I'm going to go through that today and just going to look at the new zone trader EA, how to use it basically. I'm not going to go into massive detail because I've done that in the members stream already. If you want to watch that, go and be a member. But I will cover it in just basics of how to trade it, really. It's not rocket science. It's the simplest possible way of trading, which is why it's works all these years. Yeah, it's easy to do. So I will cover that in a minute. So pound US dollars extended. We've also got Euro Swiss. I'd be wary of shorting this. Obviously, that Swiss franc yesterday, they weren't expecting that to drop. So they're going to need to scale out of some Swiss franc, which means obviously the Swiss is going to be bearish for the foreseeable. So I'd be wary about shorting this one. Unfortunately, I didn't get a long on it. Just didn't quite get into it. Wasn't right. Didn't get far enough to be extended enough for me to get a signal on it. But anyway, I got the New Zealand dollar Swiss though, so I did make money on it because I was in that one. So that's fine. Looking for a push up into that area there. So there's your ADRs, RSIs. Weekly wise, there's quite a few weekly extensions. It is Friday, so you can whiz through these weekly extensions and have a look at them for potential pullbacks to start today. But a lot of these have already played out, so you've missed loads of those already. Still in US dollar CAD and New Zealand US. You're still in it, short. Yeah, I mean the US dollar's changed bias. Yeah, Trump's in now, bullish. So I got out. I have told everybody this. Trump is good for the economy. Trump is good for the dollar. The fundamentals have shifted. There. Yeah. Unlikely we're getting down here. Something bad's got to happen to the US to drive it down there. Everything he's coming out of his mouth so far is bullish. Bullish for the economy. He's even made the Chinese turn around and go, we're going to weaken our currency, next year because of Trump, because of all the trading things that he's put in there. So that's just going to make the dollar stronger. Yeah, the Chinese turning around and going, all right, we give up. Yeah, he's won already. He hasn't even got into power yet. The dollar's going that way. Unless something big happens. Yeah, I mean, this is the trouble with Trump. He will open his mouth without consulting anybody or asking for consultation from anybody. Yeah. So he will just open his mouth and go, screw China, 150% tariffs. And he'll tweet it out via obviously Elon Musk's platform. And and the market will absolutely collapse or absolutely explode. And then it will go back the other way at some point. So the dollar from next month onwards, you might as well flip a coin on it because yes, fundamentally that should be the way it goes. But there's multiple things at play with the dollar always. You've got the Trump effect. You've obviously got how the economy's going, and you've got the Fed. Yeah, so there's a hell of a lot of push and pull. Trump and the Fed are never going to get on because the Fed wants to be rational and control the economy and keep everything stable. Trump wants everything to go that way. Yeah, so when Trump does that, the Fed have to react to counter him. You know who's going to win. So, but if Trump's an idiot, just after the Fed have done that, the thing's coming down like a steam train. So if you were around 5 years ago or more trading, you know what I mean. Yeah, the Trump effect is a thing. Yeah, it changes the dollar completely. And obviously that changes everything completely because over 50% of transactions go through the dollar. So every currency is different. So this is what I've gone through with the members streams. We went through an entire week of how to do proper back testing and how to out of sample test. You need to test post-COVID. You need to test pre-COVID. Yeah, that's after the pandemic. That's during Trump, and then test before Trump. These three market regimes are totally different. The way the market moves, the average daily ranges, the trending of each instrument is completely different in every single regime we go through. So we are now replicating this one for the next 4 years. Yeah. So if you want to know how your strategies and systems are going to perform, go and do 2016 to 2020 because that's what you got coming. Yeah. So it's going to be different. So yes, at the moment, bullish, but one word wrong. And don't forget, we've got the other thing at the minute, which is Russia and now Syria. You know, this entire world is a melting pot at the moment, waiting to explode. And as soon as it explodes, every currency is going to do something different. So, but right now, yeah, I don't see any reason for it to collapse. We'd need a run of bad news, basically. But if you look at the news we've had recently on the US dollar, I mean, the CPI numbers came out all pretty much as forecast. We've had, what else we had this week? The PPI was better than expected. What did we have last week? Obviously, last week we had the interest rates. FOMC. Was it last week? Whenever it was. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, there. That's the meeting minutes. But we've had nothing really but forecast news. There's been nothing negative. So you're waiting for something negative to come through. There's your PMIs, you know, positive. So, but next week we could just get negative after negative after negative. That's not next week. That's this week. Next week we will see. What news have we got next week? We've got PMIs again. Oh yeah, there's the FOMC. I was going to say the FOMC, the rates. Yeah, coming out next week. So this is the thing, right? We've got a forecast drop of 0.25%, and the US dollar's doing that. Yeah. When we know the rates are coming down, the currency will typically sell into the rate announcement. It's not selling into the rate announcement in any shape or form, is it? The other problem you've got as well is we've got a weak CAD at the minute. Although that's the pound changing, but you know, you look at everything against the Canadian dollar. Everything's doing pretty well against the CAD at the moment, neutral to good. I was a bit confused about the new EA. A short tutorial will help me decide whether to treat myself for Christmas. Why were you confused? There's nothing to get confused about. It's probably the simplest EA I've ever built. But I will show you, Wayne, in a minute. This video basically sums it all up. But I will do a session on it now. I second Wayne. A short tutorial will help. I got the EA at a very good price. Shh. If you're in the member streams, shh. Right, just before I do that, just quick for the members that are in here. Recap of the strategies we've got in forward test. This is the lazy trader strategy. We're up 3.67% on the month. Euro New Zealand is the only issue, which isn't really an issue. It's not an issue at all. That's not ADR, is it? That's ATR of the 4 hour. It's really annoying that this works on the 4 hour ATR, not the ADR. Euro New Zealand ADR is 125. Yeah, so we're 1 ADR away. So we're literally 1 ADR away from the exit on that. But everything else ticking along very nicely. All these singles on have got a high probability of all closing out today and getting down there, as they always do. We've got that one problem, and then we've got Euro Swiss and Aussie New Zealand, which are 2-day holds. Euro Swiss, where are you? There. So yeah, that one obviously is going the wrong way. So that one might go into DD for a little bit. Euro Swiss. I'm on. Aussie New Zealand is what I was looking for. Sorry, it's Friday. It's Friday the 13th as well. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, just need an hour of price action. We're out of that. So yeah, all good. So that's up 3.6 on the month. The trend pullback strategy did 1.28% yesterday. It's sitting in 1.1 at the moment with open positions. We're up 6.25% on the month. So those two strategies combined so far up 10% on the month, which is great. So yeah, that's all going very well. This is the support resistance zone trader account, up 2.84 this week. Yeah. Shall I go through that, or shall I go through how it works? I might go through it on here actually, because I haven't done this today yet, so I need to do my work on that account today. So I'll do that in a minute. DAX is broken out. Yep, lovely. Okay, so DAX is off, FTSE's off. Approaching 3R. Why has the DAX just exploded like that, though? Don't know, just big move on the DAX. Oh yeah, of course. Why is it just moved? Why is that candle there, Lee? What's this line you've just drawn in? That's the all-time high. So this is the pop on the all-time high. So this is everybody's short stops being triggered at the all-time high and all the short players flipping long. So that's why we've got the pop. I'm just going to take that one off, stick it in the bank. Might as well take that. So it's 2.5R. So it's 200 locked in. Got a trailer running on the rest. FTSE is on its way as well. So FTSE needs to break out of yesterday's high, which we're at right now. So this is yesterday's high line here. There. So if we break yesterday's high, it's clear air straight through to TP1 at 125 ADR. I'm just going to move that down ever so slightly, because that, if you're in the member stream, you know what that is. And we may well get a reaction at that point. So there we go. Right. So what I will do, I had it planned. I'll do a couple of bits and pieces with the new EA just to show you what it does, basically. So I've done the video on it, but basically all the EA is a supply and demand, support and resistance trading strategy. So before I built the market reversal alert EA and the position trader EA and the market reversal alert indicator, I was a support resistance position trader. So that's all I did. So literally all I would do, let me move over to my VPS a minute. All I would do is open up a pair and I would go, right, this, so let me just take those off. Okay. So I would go, oh, this has got a trade on it. So what I would do is basically go, that is where I reckon price is going. Yeah, this previous support here, somewhere around there, I reckon price is going to get there and let's have a reaction. And to the downside, I reckon price is going to get yeah, where it is, down to here. So we've got this high here, which is part of that accumulation, which area of balance, which turned into support. So somewhere around there, I reckon we're going to get to. Yeah. So what I would do is I would place limit orders at those levels, and that's it. And then move on to the next chart. So that's the job done on the Swiss yen. Then I'd move over onto the Aussie CAD, rinse and repeat, basically. And that's all I do. So draw in support resistance zones and trade them. And that's what I started doing 5 years ago when I started position trading full time, basically. So all this strategy, all this EA does is it literally just draws boxes on your chart. So you open up a chart, you have the buy and the sell limit buttons there, and you basically go, press the button. Where do I think it's going? Obvious. Where do I think it's going? Obvious. That's it. Move on. Aussie dollar Swiss. And then come back tomorrow. Yeah, so that is literally all the EA does. It places boxes on your chart, and you place the boxes where you think price is going to go. So there's an obvious area of a triple bottom support. So if it gets back down to there, I'll expect the banks to buy that area again. So this is where I want the EA to get me into a trade. If it pushes up into this high, which has been very resistive over and over and over and over and over again, and part of this accumulation, I will sell it. So the price at the moment is sitting here. So there we go, done. I'll come back tomorrow and see if that is doing anything. This one is all set up, ready to go. Got a nice bottom there. So if we get down to that W pattern reversal, I'll buy it. If it gets up to this high, this low, which is basically a zone which I think probably price will react at, I'll sell it. Yeah, that's it. This is literally all the EA does. So it is super, super simple. You put a sell and a buy limit in as a box, and you place your box where you want it to be. And you can make the box as big, as small as you want, whatever you want it to be. Yeah. So we could use that area. Let's use that area instead. And maybe I'll use that low there and that low there. Yeah. That high. Yeah. That's it. And now I'll sit and wait. Nothing to do. Move on to the next. Aussie, New Zealand. Right. So this one has triggered a trade. So the way that EA works basically is when price gets to this area, it will wait for a reversal. And a reversal is basically a candle in the opposite direction. So when price gets to the green zone, it's looking to buy. So when price gets there, it will basically take a signal when price moves back in the opposite direction. And there's 3 ways that it does that. Very simply, which is on the website. So I might as well use the website because it's got the graphic on there. Yeah, so very simply, just about see that. Let me just get rid of my head. Which one's my head? That one. So basically, this is a price zone. This box color here. Yeah. So there's 3 ways it gets into the market. First way is a candle piercing inside the zone and closing outside. So imagine that's that green box to the bottom or the red box to the upside. What happens is if this candle pushes into the zone, yeah, so the high is in the zone or above the zone, and then the candle closes below the zone, that is bearish price action. Yeah. Or if the candle pushes into the zone, closes inside the zone, and then opens inside the zone and closes outside the zone, that is bearish price action. Yeah. If the candle opens inside the zone and closes inside the zone, but it's the bull candle in this case, which is the opposite candle to what we've had entering into the zone, that's bullish price action in this case. So this is a bearish rejection. This is a bearish rejection by opening inside, close inside. This is a bullish rejection by opening and closing inside with the bulls in control of the market. Yeah, so it's very, very, very simple price action. That's all we're waiting for it to do. So in this case here, you can see there's a sell order been taken at that level. What is this on the hourly? So that was taken yesterday in this zone because what happened was price pushed up into the zone. Yeah. And then we had a bearish candle. So it went short. So that's an open inside, close inside, bearish price action. So the bears are starting to enter the market. So it's taken a short. So what I need to do now, because I'm short, is look for where I want to get into my next short. This is position trading. So for those of you that are familiar with support and resistance, that's really, really simple, isn't it? And it will draw in support and resistance for you if you want it to, in the form of previous highs and lows of the week. When it ticks, or not. Oh, I've got to wait for a candle to close, haven't I? Let me just wait for this 1 minute candle to close, just so it draws in the resistance. Oh, no, I won't bother. Anyway, support and resistance, you know what that is. Yeah, it draws in support and resistance for you automatically. So it draws in the weekly highs and lows. But if you're familiar with supply and demand trading is not support and resistance trading. Supply and demand is basically accumulation before propulsion. Yeah, so that is a supply zone. That is a demand zone. Yeah, not a very good one, but it is. That's a mediocre demand. That's a nice demand zone there. Yeah, so basically, because I'm in short now, one of two things is going to happen. Either the price is going to go down, and it's going to go down to where I think it's going to go. And when it gets down there, the EA will wait for price action in the opposite direction. It will exit my short trade, bank the profit, and then it will flip and get me back in long. Yeah, because this is where I think it's going to bounce from. So that is where I'm going to get out. If it goes up, I'm going to scale into the position. It's position trading strategy, exactly the same as I do with RSI and ADR. It's just we're using levels rather than indicators. So basically, it's position trading without indicators. So let's use that supply zone there. And if it gets up to that level, let me just move this to tick. If it moves up to here, yeah, I will get in a short trade. Yeah, so it's simple as that. Why is this not ticking? Why did I pick an instrument that doesn't tick? Aussie, New Zealand, that's why. It's an Asian instrument. Anyway, so what it does is it will get me in if price pushes up into that area there. Yeah. Now, if price pushes up into this zone, yeah, and it doesn't give me a signal, i.e. there's no bearish candle inside, it doesn't open and close inside, and it doesn't wick into it and close outside, it doesn't open inside and close outside, but it just pushes and pushes and pushes, what the EA will do is it will extend the zone for me up and up and up until there is a price action pattern that gets us in. So what it does is it says, okay, you want to get in, this is the minimum distance, and you can adjust this because it's just an ADR input. As soon as I see some bears come, I'll get you in. Yeah, so it works exactly the same way as normal position trading does. We're waiting for either a market reversal alert on the market reverse alerts EA, we're waiting for a moving average cross on the position trader EA, and this EA, we're just waiting for price action, just some bears. That's it. So get me into the next short. Yeah, this box then turns into the light blue color, and you go next day. Okay, so I'll come on tomorrow morning or Monday morning. If that has happened, I will then go, right, I'm going to scale into my third up there, but my average price will be in a different place. So I want to move my target up to a different location. This is it. All you're doing is you're drawing boxes on the chart where you think price is going to go. And when price gets there, if price gets there, it trades for you. And all you do is you check it every morning. So I use the hourly chart or 4 hourly chart. You could do this, as I have been doing yesterday, on the 1 minute chart and do super scalping with it, which I was surprised yesterday. This account yesterday, I was mucking about. I was recoding version 1.2 yesterday of the EA, which I released yesterday. And I was mucking about in here, testing the functionality. I made $29 yesterday trading on these three instruments. Actually, that was the NASDAQ, not the DAX. Just by putting boxes on the chart. Because all I was doing was saying, well, put a box there, 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 put a box there. If it gets there, go long. If it gets up there, get out the long, go short. That's it. That's all I did, mucking about. Made $29 just mucking about, because you know where price is going. Price is going to support resistance, supply, demand. That's all it ever does, and it's all it ever has done. Yeah. So that's all the EA does. It's very, 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 very simple. So all I do every day is go through the charts like this. Aussie US, set this one up yesterday in the members stream. We've got a buy on at the moment, yeah, which we got on there. And this is the zone. I'm looking for it to come down and get me into my next trade. And that is where I'm going to get out of my longs. Yeah, hasn't done anything. Move on. Next chart. CAD Swiss. I've got a short on. I got out of the long on that one because we took a bounce off of that. Got out of that one there day before yesterday. So yesterday I said, okay, we're short now. So if we're going to go down, I'm going to retest that level. If we're going to go up, we're going to retest this level. Now we hit that on the Swiss franc news. So I decided to use the next level up, which is there. Yeah, could put it there. That's not a bad little area. That is a supply zone. That is sort of a supply zone. So potentially that supply zone's already been tested and I haven't got in there. So I'm going to wait for it to get up to there. Nothing to do today. Move on. Next chart. CAD Yen. In short, waiting for price to move. Didn't go anywhere yesterday. I'm waiting for it to get up into this area here or down there. Move on. Next chart. This one I'm short at the moment. This is the one I just did a minute ago, which is why it's not drawn over to the right. Now, one thing that's important on this is, let me move it on to tick. This level here, next distance, yeah, is set as a percentage of ADR. Yeah, so I've set this to 3/4 of an ADR because I'm trading the hourly charts. You can't put your price too close. If you put the box too close, a little warning comes up down here and says current sell zone is too low, no trade will be taken. Yeah, because you've told me in your inputs you don't want your trades more than 3/4 of an ADR apart. You want them to be further distance than that. So basically you need to move your box up. So you move your box up and that message, when it ticks, disappears. Yeah, so that basically, if I put it here, it knows that it's going to extend across. So every candle, when a candle closes, it draws the box across and extends it automatically for you, which I'll show you in a minute in the strategy tester. So that's too close. I can't put it there. So the next area I'll look at is there, that high. Yeah, move on to the next chart. Euro odd, got out of shorts on this yesterday. So I took a sell there off of that high. The zone played down into the lows. As you can see, this is where I drew the box yesterday in the members stream. We've hit that. We've got out. So now I am long, looking for it to move up into there. My next entry to the downside is going to be that's too close here. Yeah, so that is a previous demand zone, but that is a nice quadruple top. So if we hit that quadruple top, I reckon we'll probably find some price action. If we don't, we'll probably get some either in the demand zone or we'll get it down there somewhere. So somewhere in that area, I'll take another buy. Whenever price reacts, I don't know where it's going to react. If it just goes up, I'll get out of my longs and I'll flip short, assuming a triple top. Yeah, so all you're doing is you're basically saying, where's price going? Short on, long on this one. So got in a short there, got out, flip long. That's the zone I drew. Yeah, we got in, we've bounced at it. If this doesn't go up and double or whatever, double top, triple top, it's going to come down to there. So that's my next entry long. Yeah, that moves my average price and then I'll move my box down as necessary. Let's try and find one that has actually done something. This one we got out of. That was a long exit yesterday. So this one basically, we're looking at swaps. I've introduced a swap filter into the EA as well, the same as the position trader EA has. So yeah, I mean, the reason I didn't put a sell on this is because I can't really find, I'm doing the same thing as I did yesterday. I can't find anywhere obvious I want to put a sell because this thing is a bit of a mess. And also the Swiss franc, I think, is going to rally. So I would probably look to sell the Swiss up here somewhere. Yeah, so we got that area there. There's quite a lot of selling and additional adding into positions to make that accumulation before we broke down. So we are kind of roughly here at the moment. So if we can get up to there today, that's a hell of a push. It's not going to get there. I'll take that. Euro pound, we've got longs on. This is the target. So the EA when it gets here. Yeah. So first long was there off of those lows. Didn't work out. It pushed down. Second long was taken there. Price is pushing up today. This is the target area here, somewhere around there before it gets to that resistance. Yeah. I'll be getting out. So we're going to push up into here today. In a minute, probably. That candle's going to close. If it pushes through the box will extend. Yeah, and wait for a bearish price action. As soon as we get some bearish price action, the longs will close automatically and it will flip short. And then tomorrow or Monday, I will put in my next target zone to the downside, which at the moment is sitting at this all-time low, the 10-year low. Move on, euro yen, same thing. So that's basically what the EA does. It's really, really simple. Yeah. If you can identify support and resistance or supply and demand, that's it. This is all it's designed to do. It position trades market movement. There is only two things the market can do. When you press the buy or the sell button, it either goes up or it goes down. If it's going to go down, where do you think it's going? Put a box there. If it's going to go up, where do you think it's going? Put a box there. Just let the EA move from zone to zone, or let price move from zone to zone, and just adjust where you think it's going. So when you get into a trade, if this, I'm short here, if this pushes up to there, I'm going to short it again, my average will move up. What that allows me to then do is move this box here up to there. Yeah. So if I short it here and I short it here, yeah, my average will be roughly there, which means that I can then wait for price to push down and retest this zone before it bounces back off again and take a profit. And I will get in long there because that's where I think it will probably bounce at. If you think it's going to bounce somewhere else, like that low, this high, which formed, again, a turncoat resistance, if you think it's going there, stick your box there. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. But what we do know is you need to be long or short in the market. That's all this EA does for you. It just keeps you in the market all the time. It's an always in strategy. So you're always going to be trading in a direction. And all you're doing is you're letting price move. Very, very, very simple. This I did on the 1 minute chart yesterday. I think this is set up for 1 minute. Yeah. This is version 1.2. Let me just make sure I've got the swap filters turned off. Yeah. So again, it's the same principle here on the 1 minute chart. So any of you that are futures traders, yeah, we just basically put some zones in. So let's take a double bottom off of that. And we'll take a short off that high and see what happens. Take a short off that high. See if it gets down there. Take that. Lovely triple top. Downside on gold. Low of the day. Yeah. What you'll see is when this candle closes, this box will fly across to the right and adjust itself. So every time a candle closes, the box adjusts itself to the hard right edge, so you don't have to redraw it. So you draw where you think it's going, the EA will then adjust the box to show you at the hard right edge automatically for you. There you go, like that. So that candle's closed. So I'm now waiting for price action here to be bullish. So to see how that plays out. So that's it. Any questions? That's literally all it does. There's a lot of inputs, obviously. So there's lots of other things you can set up and do with it. But at the end of the day, that's all it does. You can pick which price action to choose or all, up to you. You can adjust the coloring, the zones. It's got a swap filter built in, so it will only trade in swap direction for you. It's got the always in facility, so it will just constantly get out of that, get in again, get out, get in, get out, both. Or you can use it so that when it gets into the zone, it just TPs for you and it doesn't automatically stop and reverse, and then you can decide where you're getting next. It can do that, whichever you want. And it will also just trade in line with swaps if you want it to do that as well. Yeah. So there we go. So we've got a bearish candle there. So if this candle now goes bull, it will trigger an entry. This is going to be one of those days where price action just doesn't do what you want it to do, isn't it? Almost got out that DAX second half, FTSE stuck. How to deal with squeeze? Same ways you do with everything, manually. This is exactly the same. This is no different. This is position trading. It's just trading zones. That's all it is. It's a different way to get into a position trade. That's all. So you deal with squeezes the same as you would anything else. The difference with this is your squeezes are going to be totally different. As I explained in the members streams, I switched over to indicators because it's easy and I'm lazy. Yeah. Proper technical analysis, support, resistance, supply, demand is... why did that not take a trade? I got this set up wrong. Let me just check what this is up to. I'm not quite sure why that didn't trade out of that zone. Anyway. Or is this the other version of 1.2? This might be the broken one. This might be the broken version of the EA. Anyway, you get the point. That's what it would have done. Yeah, it's exactly the same as normal position trading. You just basically scale in and scale out. So these buttons here are for you to manually close all trades or close the oldest. So if you've got multiple trades on, this button, CL old, will close the oldest trade. So this is your manual drawdown to control button. This is a manual system, manual trading system. This does not take any trades automatically for you. Yeah, if you run this in the strategy tester, which you can do, it won't do anything, depending which version this is. I've got lots of development versions in here. Yeah, so if you run it in a strategy tester, that's all it does. Nothing. Yeah, but you have to do this. There you go. I'm long, so I need to get into another long. Just stick it down there for the minute. Let's see if I can get a second long on, because then I can show you what the close all, but the close oldest button does. Ugh, missed it. Okay, second entry. I move my target down now. Oh, I've got a trailing stop running on this as well. There you go. So now I'm short. I'm out my longs. I'm short. So if it goes up, I need to put another order in. I'll put it there. If it comes down, we'll go there. It's not doing anything much at all. So if you get fed up with it, you can just close it. Wait for it to get to there. It's not doing anything. There we go. Right. Short. So we've got this area here. To the upside, downside target. Let's look at that area support here. Previous resistance. We'll look for a bounce out of there. There we go. Long. If it continues down, we'll get in there. If it goes up, we'll get out at this high and we'll short that high. There we go. Short. Next sell. Up at this high. If we go short, we'll get out at that low. you can use this to practice this strategy as well. It's a fantastic tool. The reason I built this initially was for the members to practice. That was the whole point of it, to do this, learn and build your muscle memory. Right, out of that one. So next long, be down there. Short target, long target, I'll put here. That support. So we're in 2 longs. Out of those now because the trading stops triggered. Oh, I didn't get a chance. It's going a bit too quick. What I would have done is put my re-entry back there, which would have triggered, but I missed it. So we'll leave that where it is. Just let that play out. That's it. So there you go. So that's the expansion, yeah, that I was talking about. So when price gets to a zone that you've got, and price blows through that zone, we expand the zone, yeah, because what's going to happen is, if where we thought it was going to bounce from is not happening, it's going to bounce at the next level or somewhere around there. So the zone will automatically expand to encompass the next level of resistance, basically, and we'll wait for some bears to come in. When the bears come in, then we'll jump in. At the moment, I don't think this is set to take bearish price action. This is set at the moment to take piercing entries only by the looks of things, because it should have traded short there, but it didn't. So it's obviously in the inputs. I've got it set up so it's set up only to take piercing into the zone. It's not set up to take trades inside the zone, and that would have been a signal, a bearish candle inside the zone. That would have traded there. Actually, it would have traded on that candle there probably. Yeah. Very, very, very simple. But it's a fantastic tool. If you're interested in support resistance trading or supply and demand trading, it's a fantastic tool to practice in the strategy tester. You can download it for free as well. You don't need to buy it to use the strategy tester. All demos work in the strategy tester. So download it. Train yourself to do this. See how much, I don't know what I just made. I don't know what lot size I'm using, but I made $123 on this account. I mean, I'm not using the right lot size, obviously, for the account size, but, you know, all I've done is basically said, where's price going? I've just drawn boxes on the chart. Price does nothing but go up and down through time. There is 3 constants. That's it. That's what price does. So your job as a trader is to say, where is it going up there? Where is it going down there? And let it do that. When it gets there, let the EA take your trade, check the next day what's happened, and if it's moved in your direction, brilliant, but stick a backup zone in and make sure your target zone's there. And it will either get to the target zone or it won't. It will get to the backup zone. When it gets to the backup zone, you trade into the position and then move your target up. It's position trading. It's nothing different to what we do and what I've been doing in here for the last 4 years. It's just using zones instead of indicators. That's it. Simples. Hopefully that explains it. Why is this not trading? I've got, this is, I think this is the broken version. I broke it yesterday and I had to release a fix. So I'll have to check that. Can you set it so it only takes trades during set hours, so I can use my PC, not a VPS? No, there's no stop loss in position trading. No. Yeah, you can use set hours, but what you're saying, Wayne, is can I use it when my PC's turned on? Yes. It won't do anything if the PC's turned off. So the times that it's on is the times that you've got your PC on, obviously. But there is a times in it. There is a time filter. If you want to use time filters, there is one there. You can use trading times. I use it as a spread filter, so it doesn't trade between 11 o'clock and 1 a.m. So basically it doesn't trade when the swaps are ridiculously large. So that's the swap filter. But you could change it so that it was, I don't know, 10 in the morning. So it will only trade from the London session until the end of New York, or if you wanted to. But it's a you know, this is a manual trading tool. This is not an EA. Yeah, I've already had multiple questions. What's the strategy? You're the strategy. You're a trader. Trade. Yeah, this is what it's for. It's for you to trade. It's not. There's nothing. It's not going to just put the boxes where it thinks the boxes are going. That's your job. There's plenty of EAs out there that trigger trades automatically based on strategy. Yeah, this is a strategy. It's called price action. That's all it is. Very simple. Notice you change from ATR to ADR. ATR is ADR. The terminology is just different. This is showing your ADR. It's just called ATR. Look, ATR on the daily is ADR. So this uses it's defaulted to the ADR 60. So it's just a smooth way of applying risk. That's all. Those not good at identifying zones when the existing position trading EIs. There we go. So that one's just taken a trade short. For those not good at identifying zones when the existing position trading EAs are the way to go. Yeah, that's fine. This is for people that want to trade this way. Yeah. I'm looking for diversification next year. This year has been very difficult because I've been trading one strategy, two strategies, but one main position trading strategy. So what I'm looking to do is diversify my position trading into multiple variations of position trading. So I'm using the normal RSI ADR. I'm going to do this, which is what I used to do before I built the indicator based versions. And I'm also going to use a new strategy we've been looking at in the member stream, which is the lazy trader strategy, which is this one, which just basically banks small amounts every day, but it turns ones that don't work into position trades. So I'll have diversification running on the position trading portfolio. So I'll split the account into multiple parts, and then I'll be obviously trading this strategy as well, which is a trend pullback strategy. But this is on live forward testing at the moment, so I need to let this play out. It's been testing for about a month, I think. Yeah, November the 12th, we started that. November, something like that. So I'm going to let this run for 2 months on forward test, just to make sure it does what it did in the tester, really. But yeah. There you go. So that one's got in short on Euro US. So we'll check that area out. So if it comes down, I'll long it from here. It's a quick scalp. So I'm trading 1 minute time frame. So I'm just trying to scalp in and out the market. But if you want a bit more, you know, target down there. But, you know, at the moment, we're using that support resistance, aren't we? So I don't think it's probably going to get down there. It's more likely to do that. But there we go. Any questions on it? Why did that not take a trade? Oh, because it's not in always in mode. Oh. No, that's... Oh, I think I might have introduced another bug, guys. Oh my God, I have. Version 1.3 will be out today. This always in mode has become the bane of my life programming. This, I wish I'd never put it in, because the whole point of this strategy is it is an always in strategy. It's designed to trade the same way as the banks do. They're always in. There is a stop and reverse. That's it. So I put this input in there to say, well, people might not want to stop and reverse for some reason. I've just realized the way that I've coded it, that doesn't do anything now. Because if it's set to stop and reverse false, it closes all positions and then does nothing. Now it's set to true. You see, it's just taking a trade. That's because I was doing all this testing yesterday on it and playing around with it, and I've obviously broken it again. So keep it on always in true. That's the way you should be trading with it anyway. Yeah. My God, I can't. What a horrible time! I hate trading these time frames. But to answer your question, Wayne, for those of you not good at identifying zones, get yourself in here, use it, get good at trading zones. It's a really simple strategy. Trade it on the hourly time frame or the 4-hourly time frame, like I'm doing here. Yeah, you only got to check it once a day. So you basically get up in the morning, yeah, and you go, right, where are we? We're in drawdown on that one. It's going up there or it's going down there. Yeah. Where are we? We've got a long position on. If it's coming down to this low and this gap fill, I'm going to long it again. If it gets up to that, I'm going to get out. Pound odd, where's it going? Yeah. This, if you get into the back tester and just practice putting blocks on charts, you will find out, because price goes up and down all the time, that you will just make money constantly. It's very hard not to make money if all you do is let the market do what the market's been doing all its life, which is go up and down. Yeah. Very hard not to make money, because it spends 80% of its time in a range or an accumulation. And then it spends 20% of its time moving from accumulation to the next accumulation. And in doing so, it forms a trend. So it's very hard not to make money when the market does 80% of the time the thing that you are asking it to do, which is move up and down. And this is all this does. And this is all we do with the RSI, if you think about it. All position trading is about is using the relative strength index to identify strength, knowing that after strength comes a reversal. So we take the reversal, and if the reversal works, we get out. If the reversal doesn't work, we get the next reversal. If that doesn't work, we get the next reversal, because the market always reverses at some point, unless there's a fundamental shift. If there's a fundamental shift, there's not a lot we can do about that. We just have to take the hit. But those don't happen very often, do they? So this is the same principle. It's exactly the same as a lot of futures traders do. So if you think about, if any of you have done any futures courses, they have taught you to trade usually market profile, or they teach you to trade VWAP, or they teach you to trade zones. Yeah, and that's all these are. A market profile is support and resistance, zones, supply and demand areas. It's just, you see it visually this way. I see it visually like that. So I see that as a supply zone. I see that as a demand zone. I see this as a support. I see that as a resistance. But that's just me. But it's exactly the same thing on every single time frame. Price just goes up and down between these levels. If it's gone down below that level, you will find another level that it will reach to, because there's nothing else in the way, until it gets there, and then it will bounce off, because all the banks and institutions have limit orders at those levels. All the banks and institutions are selling there. How do we know that? Price came down. Where do they sell it from? There. So if they sold it from there, when it gets back there and they want to be short, what are they going to do? Sell it. So what do? Draw a block there. When it gets there, you get on board with them. That's all trading is. It's so unbelievably simple, but we make it really complicated by looking for indicators to make us 100% accurate traders. Doesn't work that way. If it did, we'd be billionaires, wouldn't we? For those that I don't know, the swap figures and buttons are jumbled on my chart. You need a 4K fix.
What we do is find
That video there. Can support resistance propulsion indicator be used with the EA? in the back test tester? I've no idea. Doesn't look like it. No. The trouble with the support resistance propulsion indicator, you don't need the support resistance part because the EA draws support resistance in automatically. The propulsion indicator, the problem with that one is it's doing so many calculations. What you're doing is you're looking back 500 candles and you're doing a calculation on each candle. It's a very, very resource intensive indicator because there's a lot of, it's actually a very small piece of code, but it's a very large, long loop of code. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously it doesn't work. It's crashed it. Look. So, it's got too many calculations to do in the strategy tester because the strategy tester is working on tick. You might find it works on control points. I've never tested it. Let me reopen it and see if it works on control points. It might work on control points because it's not doing tick calculations. If you think about it, every tick, if you set the this indicator whoops, back to 500 candles, which is what it is as default, I think. That's the EA. 1500, yeah. So if you think the indicator, every tick it's going, okay, let me just check the last 1500 candles to see if there's a propulsion move. If there is a propulsion move, let me check the other 1499 to make sure that they didn't trade through that propulsion. And if they did, let me change the color of that and then redraw it to the last candle that closed and broke through it. That's basically what the EA is, what the indicator is doing every tick. Yeah, so it's massive. So if you drop that number to 500, obviously it's doing 500 calculations per tick instead of 1500. There's no other way of doing it because it does it every candle, sorry, because it has to do it that way. Otherwise it physically can't tell you that it's gone. It has to do that. So it's incredibly labor intensive. So let me just try it on control point and see if that works. The trouble with control points is it's very, very quick in the tester. Let me turn off trade history, symbol and time frame. Break even we don't need. Propulsion gaps, support resistance we don't need. Candle timer we don't need. So let's just try the gaps and use 500. There you go. So yeah, you can. But I think you need to do it on control point. I'm not sure how this is going to draw either. Yeah, no, it works fine. Let me just try it on tick a minute. I've got a feeling actually it isn't the propulsion part. I've got a feeling it's the one of the other things in the indicator that's causing the problem, not the propulsion gap. Let me just check. So if you turn off everything but the propulsion gaps, because you don't need any other stuff. I mean, the timer's useless. The trade history is useless because the EA plots that. The symbol and time frame just draws the symbol up there. You know what you're doing because you're in the strategy tester and you've picked it. The break-even line is drawn automatically by the EA. So the only bit you need is the propulsion gaps. So just don't go nuts with the number. And it works on tick. Ta-da! It does work. There you go. So if I know what you're thinking, you want to do that, don't you? There is no propulsion gap to the downside. So you want to trade the propulsion gaps. Joined late. What did I miss? The entire stream travel. What did I miss? I started at 8. It's 9:15. You've missed an hour and a quarter. You'll have to watch the replay. I mean, it's not the fastest thing in the world, obviously, now. But it does work. If you knock down the number of propulsion gaps, you're going to find it's a lot quicker. It slows it down a lot. So you don't have to apologize, Travel. It is on replay, so you can watch it anytime you like. Hello, I just joined. Did you take US dollar Swiss? No. I'm long only US dollar Swiss. No, I'm not. There you go. So I'm out. Now I'm long. So target to the upside. If you're targeting propulsion gaps, that's the one to target, isn't it? It's an half slow the tester down using the propulsion gap indicator. As I say, it's doing a lot of calculations. Every time a candle closes, it's doing 500 calculations. The EA's not. So okay, it's not just me then. Got frozen as well. Thought it was my slow PC. Yeah, so it's not, Peter. It is a part of the indicator. The indicator's got lots of parts in it, that one, support, resistance, propulsion. So just use the propulsion gaps and it will be fine. Just slows it down, that's all. Let's see if we can just get out in these propulsion gaps here to the upside. And we'll short that back down to here. Out the DAX. So second half closed out at 1R, so 300 banked. That's not moving. I'm going to get out of the FTSE. Just closing that out, break even. We're hitting yesterday's high, previous day's high zone. Look, and rejecting. So this is a triple rejection at that area. Doesn't look like it can get through there today. So there's no point because that's just going to hedge otherwise. And I've banked that. So put that in the bank. There we go. So we hit that. We've gone short. So short the next propulsion. And downside target. We'll go for the lows. Yeah, it's a good exercise to use if you want to practice trading these. Yeah. And somebody asked earlier about a stop loss. There's no stop loss in this. It's a position trading. It's designed for position trading. Everything I do is designed for position trading because that's what I do. So, you know, this is designed for position trading. But if you were to say, I want to use a stop loss, when it triggers your entry, you can place a stop loss. Or if you're using it manually, you can press the close button. So if, let's say, for example, you wanted to short this propulsion gap when it reacts out of that, but you're going to stop yourself out there, which would be crazy because it'd be testing that supply zone. So you want to actually stop out above that supply zone. But anyway, you would stop out up there somewhere. You can just sit here and every hour check your chart. If it's up here, hit that button. Done. It's equivalent to using a stop loss. But there's no automated way of using a stop loss. There is a trailing stop loss, though, in the EA. So there is a trailing stop. So you could set your trailing stop. Actually, that's not strictly true, is it? There isn't a stop loss, because there is a stop loss. We've got a trailing stop. So where the hell is it? There. So if you set your trailing stop at half an ADR and set the start trailing at 0, what that will do is, as soon as you take that trade, as soon as the EA takes a trade, it will automatically start trailing when it goes into profit, but only when it goes into profit. So the danger with this is you get a trade on, like that. Yeah. There's no stop loss. The reason there's no stop loss is because it hasn't gone into profit. Now that's because it's using candle close. So when you see this candle close above that level, there we go, your stop loss is placed. If you change the EA settings to work on tick, not on bar close, what it will do is it will trail your stop loss every tick. So let me just place zones close so it gets triggered. Yeah, so as soon as that triggers an order, when it goes one tick into profit, which it will do, I mean, it's very hard for a bear candle not to go a tick beyond its close, isn't it? So when that happens, it will automatically put that stop loss in, but it will trail it for you. Yeah, so it will reduce your risk immediately as the trade works out. Yeah, not a bad thing, you're saying. See, now we're in long, we've got a half an ADR stop loss on that, but this one's going to stop out. Not a good thing. So it has got a stop loss if you want it, but it only works on ADR or ATR. Yeah. The reason I'm using ATR is because people trading on the lower time frames will want possibly to use average true range rather than average daily range. But I've defaulted it to average daily range because that's what I believe everybody on the planet should be using, ADR. Because we are using intraday movement to trade. Therefore, we want to know how far it's going to move every day. Therefore, we use the average daily range to measure what we should be doing in intraday. Have you overlaid the easy trader, trend trader and position trader equity charts in strategy quant as a portfolio to see its smoothest equity line or not? No, because it hasn't been going long enough yet. We haven't got enough data on those three. You mean back tests? No, I haven't. No. Simple answer, no. I mean, you've got the EAs, Mark, so you've got the tester version. So if you want to do tests on those, obviously you can do that yourself. Anyone in the members streams gets the EAs that I'm developing as to use in the strategy tester to test, basically. So you can play around with them. But yeah, I haven't done that yet. That will be what I will do. I mean, that's the plan to do with these forward tests that we're running. When we're running these forward tests, the idea is to see how they pan out, basically, as a portfolio together. So, but I need to let them run long enough so that we've got enough data in them. Task for the holidays, yeah. Just want to quickly whiz through and just see if there's any. Yeah, so I've got to do something here. So I'm out shorts on that and he flipped long, so I need to do something with this. We're at all-time highs on that, aren't we? Pound New Zealand. So short's going to be the highs. Next buy down there. Second long taken on that. So average price is there now. So I can move my target down to those lows and still make money. New long. Somewhere down there. New Zealand US, got 2 on that. So I might move the target down on that. Got this area here. All you're looking at for, I think it was you, Mark, wasn't it? Who said about, or whoever it was that said, if you're not good at trading support or resistance, obviously you can practice that in the strategy tester. But all you're doing when you're drawing support, resistance, supply and demand is you're looking for areas where price has turned. So that has turned twice and it hit that level like a iceberg, Titanic hitting the iceberg, and it turned. Yeah, so we know the seller's there. So that's obvious where it's going to turn. However, this area here is what we call a flip zone, which means that price has reacted at it multiple times in the past in both directions. Yeah, so that area, if you drew a line, and one of the best ways to do this is if you just get a line and draw a line at every little low you see. Yeah, so there's one there, there's one there, there's that one there, there's that one there, and that one there. Yeah, there's your zone. That is where price is going to potentially react. Why? Because it's done it loads of times in the last 2 weeks. So if it gets back to there, there's a high probability that it will do what it's done for the last 2 weeks, which is do something. That's what we're looking for, isn't it? Yeah. So it could also do it there. Yeah. So it might only get there and then it might bounce again. But that's literally all you're doing. It's completely discretionary, supply and demand, support and resistance. Supply and demand isn't discretionary. Support and resistance is. I need to put my buy on that. So we're long on that, looking for push up into there. See, that's quite a long way. So what's the profit on that? New Zealand Swiss. Seeing as we reacted there yesterday, because I didn't see this when I placed that there yesterday, this hadn't happened. So now I've seen that, I'm thinking, okay, well, that support term resistance has sold from again. Now they've sold from it again. So obviously the bulls flipped short and added short. So if we get back to there, they'll probably add short again. So I'll get out of my long there and I'll go short. Got a buy on that going nowhere. We've got 2 long on that. Third one's just about to go in today if it gets down there. Target, I'll leave it where it is for the minute. So triggered a short on this one yesterday, so I need to put a second short on that, which is exactly where it's approaching now. Yeah, so getting ready for a second short on that. Target, I'll move up to these lows. So if that triggers today, average price is going to move up. That will become target. But I'm not going to move this there yet, because if that doesn't trigger that and it collapses today, I don't want to get out there. I want to get out there. But tomorrow or Monday, if I've triggered that, the average will be up So therefore I want to move this up to there, because that is where we're likely going to bounce. Always think in the future. You're thinking in the future. Where's the next now support area? That or that. Draw it on your chart. Draw it like I do. Yeah, it might come and do that. It might come and do that. It might just go all the way back down to the bottom. I don't know where it's going, but it'll do one of those things. So where am I going to make money? That's all you're doing, is you're moving the zone to where you're going to make money. US dollar yen, looking to get in short on that today out of these lows with a second entry. Yep, so I'm looking for it to get here, and we're going to, so this is where the sellers entered the market. Depending how you draw your supply, that is where the supply of orders was, possibly even there. But it's that low that I would expect everybody that flipped short here and broke on that low, I would expect them all to re-add to their orders at that point. And if they do, my price comes up, which means I can move this up to there. I'll do that when it's gone. All you're doing with this, really, if you want to really simplify this, is every morning you're coming in, you're opening up every chart. If there's a red and a green box on it, you don't touch it. You move on. If there's a red and a green box, you move on. If you see a light blue colored box, meaning that there's an order been triggered since you last looked at the chart, you just need to replace that order that's been triggered with another order and adjust the target. That's it. That's all you do once a day. Super simple. The guy that used to mentor me had his sort of system or strategy was called stress-free trading, yeah? And that was the whole point of it. He used to trade the 4-hour charts. And the reason he called it stress-free trading was because literally you only needed to check the charts once a day for half an hour. That's it. This is exactly the same. This is it, basically, isn't it? It's just every morning, get up, have a look through the charts, go to work, get on with your day, do whatever you're doing, and then check it breakfast tomorrow. Sit down having your breakfast, flipping through every chart, adjust stuff, go to work, come back. It's either banked or it's scaled in. That's all that's going to happen, because it can only go up and down, therefore it can only bank or scale in. There's only two things that can happen every day. Simple, isn't it? We'll be adding an option for risk as a percentage of account. It's already in there. Mumo, you need to go and read the manual and watch the video. Yeah. Amount to risk over 1 ATR. Amount of money. So if you've got a 100 grand account, you want to risk 1%, it's 1,000. Yeah, so just put it in as an amount of money. It's the same thing. Amount of money and percentage risk are the same thing. Yeah. You just put in what it is, what a percentage of your account is. Bit like a game of ping pong, bouncing back and forth. Yeah. But you know, this is what the strategy test is for. Yeah. So you know, this is, as I said, why I built this thing, because this is what you should be doing. You should be spending your life in here, because this is where you learn how to trade. Yeah. You learn by doing. You don't learn by reading books. You don't learn by somebody spouting a strategy to you on a course. You learn by doing. So get in here and do it. Don't use a stop loss, because that won't work. But you know, get in and you know, trade. Basically, get in, let the EA take trades without stop losses, because stop losses don't work. We know that. Yeah. If you use a stop loss, you get stopped out. So that's 3 in a row I've lost. If I was position trading now, what's going to happen is it's going to come here and I'll be getting out in a profit. But because I used a stop loss, I didn't. But that's where it's going. At some point, I don't know when, but I will wait for it. It's a waiting game. Trading is a waiting game. Patience. So that's stuff that we don't have as human beings. Right, I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. If you've got any questions about this, obviously there's a Discord channel set up now for the EA, and I've set up a Discord channel as well for zone trading strategy. It is literally support resistance. That's it. So, you know, there's not really much difference you can have in strategy. But I mean, if you want to talk about propulsion gap, position trading using it, obviously that is something we know that, you know, this is why we have the propulsion gap indicator on the chart. Really bad example, US dollar Swiss. Anything else would be a good example. This is why we have the propulsion gap indicator, because this is telling us where price is going next. Yeah, this is why these are all grey, because when price moves away from it, it comes back to it. Yeah, so where's price going next? Yeah, we know where it's going because we know where it's been. That's all it does, is it goes back to where it's been before. So that one might be orphaned because it's a news event, but that one will be filled. Yeah, so if you want to use this to trade those, same principle. But we can discuss all of those in the Discord group if you want to. You know, post trades you've taken. You know, brag. Guarantee you're going to get it right with that, because you can't get it wrong. Same as position trading. Yeah, when the RSI gets extended, it goes down from there, and it goes up from there. That's all it does, because all the RSI is doing is telling you it's gone up. After it goes up, it goes down. So we just do the opposite to what the RSI says. ADR gets up to 125 ADR. It needs to come down because it's gone up. They need to take profit on the move. That profit taking move causes a mean reversion. Yeah, this is coming down from here, and it's going to come back a Fibonacci ratio of 38, 50, or 61.8 the vast majority of the time. So that propulsion gap at 38 is almost a given. Yeah, so you can do this in the tester. You can whiz through 6 months of testing, and you can convince yourself. Don't listen to me. You know, as much as I come in here and do this every day for 4 years on the trot and show you the same thing over and over again happening, prove it to yourself. Use the strategy tester, because when you prove it to yourself, you get so much more confidence. And the other thing, just before I do go, the reason I've got these blue lines in here, yeah, which you can turn off, you can make them non-colored and they won't be here. But the reason I've got these blue lines in here is so that you can see how long things take to happen. Each of these is a week. It draws a blue line every Monday. Yeah, so you can see that when you're getting into trades, when you take a trade there, oh, I've got a stupid stop loss on. You can see how long it's going to take to get back up here. Yeah, so we got in there. So you can see how many weeks are going past. So in the strategy tester, this conditions your brain to how long it's going to take for this to happen. Because as a trader, as a human being, what we want is when we press the button, we want it to go to our target. Yeah. And when it doesn't go to our target, it annoys us. So this trains your brain into, I got into a long there and it didn't quite get to target, but it would have taken around about a week to get to target. Yeah, and I'll get into a trade which had 3 positions on it. That took 6 weeks to play out because 6 of these lines went past. It just gets you used to being in this, and this is what will highlight why that is so important at the moment. If you're sitting in something for 6 weeks over and over and over again, you don't want to pay 930 swaps on it. You want to get given 120 in swaps. And this is why this is so important now. Yeah, but go practice. It's fun as well. For some people, maybe it's not for you, but it is for me. Right, I'll leave it there. So I'm back next week with 3 sessions, I think, next week. So I will post in Discord and Telegram what I'm doing with them. Yeah, we'll obviously play it by ear a little bit next week. So there's not going to be any members streams specifically next week, because obviously we you know, there's not going to be an awful lot happening from now on. So I'm going to be using the next 3 weeks until 6th of January to focus on what I'm going to be doing in the new year. So getting there's a lot of stuff I don't want to do through the website, and getting all my accounts organized ready for what I'm going to be doing next year, and just splitting the capital basically into, and getting the VPS set up as I want it. So and moving on from next year, we'll be doing multiple strategies every day. So the streams are going to look a little bit different next year. It's going to be mainly going through the strategies and going through the results of the strategies on a daily basis and doing the analysis on a daily basis. So a little bit more structured, to stop me waffling. But the member streams obviously will be the same. We'll be doing more development, research, and whatever you want to do really in those. So All right. Anybody got any final questions or anything? If you have, stick them in the comments if I miss them, or Discord. And other than that, we're just waiting for stuff to happen today. So we've got no more news left, so I might not bank anything today. I've got no pound exposure on, and I'm not sure that anything else is really going to move much today. So we need some news, but we'll wait and see. But I will be getting into euro pound today short, definitely. So I'll be taking this short when we get some bearish price action coming in. Probably around here somewhere, I guess. So I'll be in on that today at some point. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else I'm going to get into today that I'm not already in. All right. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Be careful because it's Friday the 13th. If you can see anybody in a white mask, steer clear. All right. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good day.